From the West Avenue Studios, this is the Jon Alan Show.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're an idiot. That's it. Spin. There's hope. There's definitely hope. Yeah, that's a great idea. Not. Whoa. Wait a second. What are you talking about?
This is the Jon Alan Show.
Hey guys, this is Jon Alan Show. Check out the website, jonalanradio.com. There you find the links to Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. Check it out. Hey, so Paul, the pressure's off today, huh? Normally we go on the air at about 3 o'clock. We link up with different servers and what we'll call syndicators, people who actually air the show or record it or whatnot. And the GBTDR servers are down, so this is just a podcast. So technically, Paul, you don't even need to be here. That's pretty great, huh? But you're here, and I appreciate it. So yeah, that's a little bit why we're late today. Kind of, mainly though, is because I was watching the Cowboys get their heinies spanked. It wasn't a bad loss, but I just get so sick of so much talent overrun and overwhelmed with just stupid mistakes. And to the Kansas City Chiefs, come on. And the refs were no help. The refs did absolutely nothing to help. Now, I'm not saying, I mean, there were two, maybe three, maybe it was just two pass interference calls, one on the offense and one on the defense at two different parts of the game. And the last one was in the fourth quarter with 3 or 4 minutes left. And they called the pass interference. Now, I did not see the replay of it, or the after where they were actually examining the call. So I don't know if it was a good call or not, but from what I saw, it was a terrible call. But what's new? I mean, college football yesterday was plagued with bad ref calls. Today, I'm just watching Facebook and Twitter, and bad ref call. I mean, we need to reel it in, play some football, and the refs are coming out on top. They're getting the most yardage, even more so than the teams are. Anyway, I thought it was a decently played game. I mean, stupid mistakes were rampant on both sides. It's pretty impressive to see the Kansas City Chiefs playing at the level that they are playing. So that's good, I guess. But Cowboys lost by a point. I had some friends over for the first 3 quarters watching the game, and I don't know why I do this, but something will happen on the field. There will be a sack or someone will get tackled, and I'll instantly throw out a foul. That was pass interference. Oh, that was holding. What is going on here? And people, they just look at me like I'm an idiot. And I'm not necessarily an idiot. I'm not a huge sports knowledge base, but I know a little bit. And if I see pass interference or holding, I'm going to call it. Why can't I make some calls when it doesn't affect the game, when the refs can make the stupid calls and completely screw up the game? And speaking of football, so I took the past 2, maybe 3 weekends off, and thanks for Paul handling it on our end, and then Rick and Sandy handling it on the broadcasting, and thanks for filling in for me. But 3 weeks ago, I can't remember what it was, but Johnny Manziel, I don't know what attracts me to him, but I love him. I think he is awesome. Yes, he is a douche. Yes, he's got his head really, really, really far up in his butt, but he can play. And yesterday it wasn't a good game, but I mean, you can still see the boy can throw. But man, is he a douche. Oh, me and a buddy of mine were having that conversation. He knows he's good. He got the Heisman his freshman year. So that's just more of an ego boost. And he's getting all these endorsements, unpaid endorsements anyway. And then there was the scandal where, oh my goodness, he received some money for signing autographs. Okay. So he sat out half of a game. But man, do I love that kid. He can throw a football, and he knows how good he is. So he can be a douche. I don't know why I like him so much. Tuesday, I did a speech recap, and I got a lot of good feedback. I got some bad feedback. Most of the good feedback was, a good show. One of the emails I got said something about how the United States is not United States. Obama is just looking for a way to win over conservatives, so we're going to go to war. Which I don't necessarily agree with that, but the issue has two very, very distinct sides. The bad comments that I got were about, when I said I don't think that the United States or Obama made a good case for us being the world power anymore. So I was asked to explain my position. Why don't you feel like we're the world power anymore? How un-American is that? Well, let's just look at the situation. I mean, Putin stepped in and made Obama look like a fool. Obama, he wants to take action, but we don't have a plan. It's going to be, whatever they do, it's going to be very, very small, little pinprick, shot across the bow, in John Kerry's words, quote, unbelievably, unquote, small. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to sell it to the liberals who are against any kind of military action. But what they don't understand is even liberals subscribe to American exceptionalism. They may not be as boisterous about it as conservatives and Republicans, but you can't say that we're going to send our military somewhere to do something and it's going to be unbelievably small to the point that it's probably going to be unbelievably ineffective. So Putin steps in, and now he's the hero. Bashar al-Assad says this is a victory for him. And Obama's sitting back, looking like a fool, as Assad and Putin just kind of wave their hands through the sand and erase Obama's red line. So it's striking to me that so many people took offense to the fact that, we were shown up in this. Obama was unable to make a case to the international community who, according to him, drew a line in the sand saying that chemical weapons were off limits. That's unacceptable. Putin made a better argument. He appealed, obviously, to Assad. Now, granted, there are a million things going on behind the scenes that we don't see. I don't see, that Obama doesn't see, but everybody claims to know about. So anyway, I mean, the point is that with our diplomacy, with the threat of force, we still didn't get anything done. And then Obama, of course, takes a little bit of the credit for having talked to Putin and actually laying this plan out before he said anything to Syria and to Assad. Is that true? Who knows? Whatever. I don't believe it, of course, but anyway, that's what I meant. We're still, as far as force goes, we're the world power. As far as influence goes, I don't know anymore. I mean, if somebody's going to say, well, I'm not really going to care about the threats being shot our way, I'm not really going to do anything about it, and I'm not going to show you that I care about it by at least coming to the table to negotiate. Assad didn't do that. So where's the influence? Where's the credibility? Now, already after the apology tour of 2008, we of course lost credibility then, and now Mr. the Savior Obama, the peacemaker Obama, he has no credibility. It's just a long example of different things that are said, of threats that are made that really go nowhere, that really have no backing, that have no plan. I mean, let's take, for example, Obamacare. Oh, it's going to be so great. Everybody's going to love it. Everybody's going to benefit from it. And now, as you'll hear in a little bit, Trunka, whatever his name is, the union guy, the union boss, he's crying because he has to deal with it. If the unions are crying about it, something's wrong. Anyway, so this is the Jon Alan Show. Today's show is going to be a little different. There is no real structure to it. In fact, Paul, you can turn that timer off because it's distracting me right now. We're not broadcasting anywhere but on Spreaker, SoundCloud, 365, iTunes, YouTube, wherever it loads up to. So I thought there would be no show. So I didn't really prepare a striking show. It's going to be more ad-libbed, and the show, we'll do some different stuff today. Last week, I was interviewed by a local. Let's use this word very softly. A local journalist for a local. It's not even a newspaper, just kind of a newsletter that goes out to some subscribers. She came across a show on one of the websites, and she listened to it. She was interested because it's a local show here, and she's in this area, and she's a liberal, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. She wanted to talk a little bit about what I believe, what some of the things that I stand for are. But the interesting thing about the whole interview was I couldn't help but feel like she thought she was wiping up the floor with my conservativeness. Because the type, let me describe her to you. Flower power, hemp dress, barely wearing shoes, very, very the hippie liberal type. Who really probably didn't have any clue what was going on in the world outside of what Huffington Post was telling her. I'm pretty sure she quoted Huffington Post in the interview about 2 or 3 times. The bad thing about this is that it was for print, and it did not occur to me once to bring a recorder. And so she didn't record it. I don't think she did anyway, and I didn't record it. So I thought maybe I'd just piece it together, kind of what we talked about. And I also have quite a few new listeners who joined the show and who are emailing and participating with the show, which is awesome. But a lot of them don't really know where Jon Alan stands, where I stand, where the show stands, and where I think the country should be headed. So why not spend a little bit of time talking about that? So the interview, it lasted about 45 minutes long, or it was about 45 minutes long. And after about 20 minutes, we finally started talking about politics. The first 20 minutes were about why the nation, the United States should practice peace through submission in Syria and the Middle East. So after that, what? Paul just asked, what does that mean? Basically, what she was saying was that everything that we ever do in the Middle East should always be diplomatic, and we should submit in that area, not in the States, but in that area. We should submit to their beliefs and their practices, and nothing ever should be done, much less threatened, or I wrote that wrong, should ever be threatened, much less done militarily in the Middle East, ever. So it was a bit hard for me to take her seriously throughout the entire 45 minutes. It was really hard for me to take her seriously just because of the opening. I mean, she was a decent interviewer. I was comfortable. She was comfortable. We got a lot done. It was, you could tell it was a bit off, and she definitely had an agenda. Take a sip of my coffee. Anyway, so over the past few months, the shows, we've gained some new listeners, which is great. They don't know where I stand. They don't know where the show stands. They don't know where I think we should be headed. So I thought, why don't we start there? So during the interview, she said that my tagline, my header on the website is conservatism or conservative talk with a twist of reality. What does that mean? Well, first of all, I'm a conservative Republican. It's quite often and quite usual for people to call me, Rhino? Republican in name only, because of my position on a few things. The headline of the website says conservative talk with a twist of reality, because it comes from my definition of conservatism. Anyway, the new definition of conservatism, and it's kind of adapted through a lot of younger conservative voices. Most recognizable, I would say, would be Andy Dean. He does a show called America Now with Andy Dean, and that's kind of what led me onto this path to find a new definition of conservatism. He was doing a show. It was probably about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. He did a show that kind of struck a chord with me. So my new definition of conservatism has 2 bullet points. Number 1, it's limited government. And number 2, it's conservative fiscal policy. And that's it. I mean, that has got to be the new definition of conservatism. And this is why. The definition of conservatism given by Mike Huckabee. Wow, I'm having a lot of trouble speaking today. So Huckabee and Rick Santorum and Glenn Beck, Hannity, all these people who are trying to define conservatism, those voices are slowly starting to fade because they're starting to be seen as radical. And not just radical, but religious radical. So it's dying off. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. And it's not because I don't agree with them. It's not because I'm not a religious person or I don't agree with a few of their views. It's not because of that at all. It's more because they have to die. Those views have to die because politics in government evolve. And that makes it easier as these definitions evolve and start to take in different viewpoints and start to be more accepting of different viewpoints. Politics and government become more of a fluid and more effective thing. Does that make sense? No. Okay. That doesn't surprise me, Paul. All right, so let's see. Rick Santorum, whenever he ran, he was running on a platform of very strict zero-tolerance policy for the adoption of gay rights and same-sex marriage and those types of social issues. Mr. Huckabee, I think, he has a show on Fox, and anytime I flip to it, I really feel like I'm watching, what's his name in Houston? Joel Osteen on Sunday mornings. I don't disagree with these things at all. But in today's electric, and I don't like saying this because so many liberals and Democrats have used this over the past 2 years. Today's electorate, people, it's changing. Values are changing. Christianity, the views of Christianity from inside and out. Use of marijuana, gay marriage, civil rights. These are just examples of how the values of the nation are changing. Whenever they did change, you saw Obama and most Democrats shift immediately whenever the polls showed that more Americans are now favoring gay marriage. They shifted immediately. And conservatives didn't. And that's not a bad thing, but it doesn't matter. These social issues that we are clinging to, it doesn't matter if those people don't get elected, because you're conservative. You have these social views on different things. So gay marriage, abortion, civil rights, those types of things. You have all of these. You have all of these views, but if you get knocked out of an election because of those views, it doesn't matter whenever it comes to limited government and conservative fiscal policy. So the best of intentions don't mean anything if you don't get elected. Now, some say that's why I should be labeled a Republican in name only or a conservative in name only. But I don't think so. I think we have to be accepting. We have to kind of make the definition of conservatism and republicanism. It has to be fluid. So let's just take a few of the key items that the social issues that people see very important nowadays. And keep in mind the definition of conservatism, my definition: limited government, conservative fiscal policy. So gay marriage. I say, who cares? Let the states decide. It's a great example of limited government. The states will decide, which means the people within those states will decide. If conservatives come down hard every time, they're going to lose. Same-sex rights, the same thing. If it's an issue that is important to the people in the states, then they'll vote for it or against it. They'll do whatever they feel is necessary for their state, their region, and it's really not the place of the federal government to pass down laws that affect something like that. Spending and entitlements. You could probably quote me 1,000,000 times saying that the liberal spending policies are going to destroy this company. Oh man, Paul, this is rough. They are going to destroy this country. I'm pretty sure this year I read an article, this year we are projected to bring in more tax revenue than ever, and the country is still going to spend into deficit. We have this astronomical increase in food stamp usage and application and unemployment. Now, I say if you need it, use it. That's why it's there, for rainy days. But that's really not what the Democrat and liberals are doing. They see that as kind of a placeholder, so that whenever somebody who's receiving those types of benefits goes to the polls, they're going to remember.